So, Lesia Tsurenko is one of my favorites, and throughout the war, she expressed how she felt about the ongoing war and the toll it's taking effect in her personal life, and also expressed how she felt about the Russian players. But Lesia, she was one of the very few Ukrainians that was giving congratulatory handshakes at the end of the match to Russian players. So recently, when Lesia lost to Russian daria kasatkina in the second round at the Madrid Open, she refused to shake Daria's hand. And I think the turn of events that transpired at Indian Wells, where I read Lesia had a panic attack before a match against Arena Sabalenka, like Lesia conveniently had a panic attack against a player she had no chance of winning against. So after that incident, that's probably why she disavowed shaking the Russians' hands on tour. And Lesia, she's her own individual person. If she feels she doesn't want to engage with Russian players at the end of matches, that's her prerogative. But on this channel, I'm very matter-of-factual, and the fact that Lesia is one of my favorites does not give her immunity from my criticism. And when I discuss my favorites, I usually talk about their milestones or achievements throughout the year on tour. With that being said, Lesia, I really haven't been talking about her much throughout the 3 years I've been doing commentary because she hasn't achieved anything on tour for me to talk about. She wants to make everything about the war and shove politics into tennis, but yet this woman has not won a tournament in over 5 years. And it would not be an issue for her speaking about politics and the war if she was not struggling in her tennis career. Lesia's not winning, so no one cares what she has to say. The only tennis fans that care about what Lesia has to say about the war is those phony, fraudulent Stand with Ukraine tennis fans. At this point, those are the only people that are supporting her. The same Stand with Ukraine tennis fans that didn't give a damn about Lesia before the war began. And I'm disappointed because I thought Lesia was being mature still, handshaking with the Russian players. I was like, I'm so proud to be a fan of hers. I know what her country is going through, but she set her differences aside and being respectful to the Russian players on tour. But Lesia's coming off like she's being influenced by those young Ukrainian girls, being immature drama queen brats and being disrespectful. And Lesia, she's too old to be acting like that on tour. The entire Ukrainian women's tennis organization comprises of nothing but mediocre imbeciles and bimbos. After all, they're nothing more than multi-millionaire spoiled jocks, and jocks never had a reputation for being the most intelligent. No one seeks out athletes for stimulating, thought-provoking intellectual conversations outside of sports. So politics is beyond these Ukrainian players' realm of intelligence. That's why I would never take anything these Ukrainian players have to say seriously if it's not sports related, especially with Dana Shrimska. I talked about back in 2020 when Dana, in the form of performative activism, stripped off her clothes trying to be political, involving herself in the Black Lives Matter movement, and fell flat on her half-painted black face, and then got dragged and heavily criticized for it, and rightfully so. Dana, in her half-assed attempt, was trying to send a message to us Americans that black people and white police officers should come together and unite and live in sweet harmony. But after the war began, she's on the tour acting divisive and displaying open hostility towards Russian players. For that very reason, I'm delighted the Russian players are dominating these Ukrainian players on tour. These Ukrainian tennis players, when the Ukrainian-Russian Civil War began in 2014, for the most part, these Ukrainian players were not mentioned in the Civil War for the 8 years that it was going on, for almost a whole decade. Before the war, none of those Ukrainian players were on their social media pages constantly talking about ending the Civil War and wanting peace, because they was too busy living their rich-ass white girl lifestyles, posing on beaches, showing tits and ass, and concerning themselves, engaging and bringing awareness to social political issues going on in other countries. Because those Ukrainian tennis players did not care about that civil war until it manifested itself into a large-scale war and it started to affect them personally. And I stopped talking about Lesia Tsurenko after her final in Thailand and did not mention the other off-court drama happening with her that's politically related with the war. Because I'm tired of talking about this war. I'm fed up with these Ukrainian players bringing politics into tennis. With Lesia Tsurenko, I'll still be a fan of her tennis for the remainder of her career, but I'm going to cease watching her matches for now. And that's all I have to say about this.